Today we're having a Jeju Wheat Ale, or is it a Wit Ale? I don't know. Anyways, it's a Korean beer made by Jeju Beer Company in collaboration with Brooklyn Brewery. It's a Belgian wheat beer with Jeju mandarin flavoring and coriander. The mandarins used are called gul in Korean, and they are native to Jeju Island. It's a light and refreshing beer to the taste. It has 5.3% alcohol. It has nothing to envy from other more popular wheat beers out there. It's not overly sweet like some wheat ales out there, and it's not too strong either. Here's my snack, Chamssal by Crown. It's basically a crispy and salty rice cracker. It's also a little bit sweet. It's very popular in Korea and it pairs well with any booze. And here's today's game, Chivalry II for PS5. This game was released on June 22nd in Korea. Its MSRP is 44,800 won, which is more or less $40 US. It's published by Intra Games here in Korea. The game is fully English with, of course, the option for Korean menus and subtitles. It's very import friendly. The game comes with a DLC code for getting a Royal Zweihander, but it's not usable before you reach a certain level in the game. Also, you need a Korean PSN account to redeem it. Chivalry II is a team deathmatch style game between two factions, Mason in red and Agatha in blue. There's also a free-for-all mode. It's an online-only game, so you'll need a PS Plus subscription to play. There's an offline practice mode against bots. The game supports crossplay with Xbox and Windows players. There are two main modes, a 64-player mix mode and a 40-player mix mode. They are basically team death matches with specific objectives for each map. At first, you might be too overwhelmed by the action to pay much attention to the objectives, but you'll quick learn that they are the most important things to pay attention to in order to win the fights. I highly recommend playing the tutorial thoroughly. This game might look like a regular first or third person action game, but the way you control the swordplay requires a lot of practice. Playing an archer would require less getting used to though. The swordplay uses R2, R1 and L1 for attacks. L2 is used for blocking and parrying. You have swings that can hit a wide area in front of you, which you control with the right analog stick. You have overhead strikes and also thrust attacks. Don't forget that you can hit your allies, so think about that before swinging wildly. You can kick too, which is good against parrying enemies. The game uses the PS5 DualSense controllers pretty well. It's a nice addition. The game loads very quickly on PS5. Graphic-wise though, it's fine. Just don't expect the best graphics you've ever seen. Finding a game was quick and lag was limited so far. Sometimes the game adds bots if it can't find players. The game is gory and the action is non-stop. The sound effects are quite good. They really make you feel each hit. The battleground is quite noisy, as it should be, with players shouting war cries and commands and such. When you die, and you will die a lot, you respawn quickly. It's quick to get back into the action, and you can change your class after each death, as well as change your weapons. There are 4 classes, Archer, Vanguard, Footman, and Knight. Each class has a special move, which can come in handy. You should pay attention to the gauge and use the special actions when you can. There are only 8 maps so far, so it's a little lacking here, but I get the feeling that the devs might add some in the future. It does feel like a free-to-play game at times, so they really should add some free stuff. Progression is somewhat slow. You'll need a ton of gold to unlock stuff. Most weapons and even customization options are locked, and need to be purchased with in-game money, or real money if you so desire. You'll also need to be of a certain level to use particular weapons. You can customize your character's head, which includes voice, helmet, armor set, heraldry, and, of course, weapons. I don't play a ton of multiplayer games, and I found this game pretty fun. I don't know how long it will stay fun, but the fact that it's quick to jump in and play is a huge plus. I hope the devs add free content in the future, because as it stands now, it does feel a little bit like a free-to-play game. It gets a 7 out of 10. It can easily get a bump to 8 if they add free content in the future. Jeju Wheat Ale is a good beer. It's not overly pricey either, as it's currently 4 cans for 10,000 won in Korea, which is more or less $10. It gets a thumbs up. Cheers!